guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering all of the bay horses that are available in Red Dead Online. Now, this is not going to be based off color. It is strictly going to be based off the horses that Rockstar has labeled as bay. So I'm going to start at the top, all the way at the first horse that you can buy in the stables, all the way to the last. We'll go in order. I'm just going to show them off, let you take a look at them, and then at the end, let's discuss if they got it right. Are the horses they labeled as bay actually bay? And did they leave some horses out that should have been labeled as bay? Now, for this video, I tried to keep everything as similar as possible, so I did have to change characters for a few of the horses that I owned on other accounts. I tried to keep the outfits as similar as possible, just to try to keep everything uniform. I kept the natural mane and tail on all the horses so that you can see what they look like right out of the stables before you make any modifications. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first up is the Silver Bay Kentucky Saddler, classified as a riding horse. This horse can be identified by its muscular, medium-sized frame and smooth gait. And you can see here in this video, this is a very striking horse. The color of the coat combined with the natural mane and tail make it absolutely beautiful. Now, a lot of people will overlook these horses early on in this video from the riding class, from the work class, things like that, because they think that the stats are too low and that they have to have a horse with the best stats. I'm here to tell you that after thousands and thousands of hours playing this game and owning hundreds and hundreds of horses, that especially online, the stats really don't matter that much. So online, the difference between the slowest and the fastest horse is already negligible. And then when you're talking about a lot of events, whether you're in a posse, you're chasing after a player in like a player bounty, or you're actually in the horse races, Rockstar will slow down faster horses and speed up slower horses. That's just the way the game is designed. So the speed doesn't really matter that much. And then when it comes to things like stamina, you have saddles, stirrups, calming the horse, and also tapping gallop in time with the horse's gait. That's going to help negate that. And for health, you have ability cards like Ride Like the Wind, which aren't even super necessary, even for the worst health horses. Roadster is one of my favorite, and it's, again, not something you're going to super notice. So don't be afraid to give these horses a try. I do find that the horses in like the riding classes and these earlier classes tend to have better temperament, less variabilities in skittishness, so they can be a really great little horse to try out. So again, this is the Silver Bay Kentucky Saddler. Next up is the Bay Morgan, another horse that is in the riding category, and these horses are the smallest of the riding category horses, which is kind of a shame because Morgans are excellent horses. The small stature does make them extremely agile. You can maneuver through dense forests, around trees, on narrow trails, so that's really an asset for them. They have a very pretty trot as well. And the coat with the black mane and tail contrasting is absolutely beautiful. So I definitely recommend giving this horse a try. One of my best horses ever was a Bay Morgan. That horse stood its ground against predators, gunfire. Like, that horse was absolutely fearless. I will say though, if you have a male character, this horse is on the smaller side, and that might be something that you don't like. For my female character, it's totally fine, but they are definitely very small horses. So again, this is the Bay Morgan. The final horse in the riding category is the Dapple Bay Tennessee Walker. Now, there is another bay horse that is a Tennessee Walker, the Mahogany Bay. It is available only in story and only at the beginning of story. I decided to stick with just the online horses here, so I don't have any video of the Mahogany Bay. So this is the Dapple Bay here. As far as Tennessee Walkers go, the catalog description says, with their calm temperament, smooth ride, and swift companionship, the Tennessee Walker is quickly becoming a favorite since it first appeared at horse auctions a few years ago. The breed is tall, with a long neck and sloping, long hips and shoulders. It is a smooth, unique gait and is sure-footed. They are popular for pleasure riding or light work around farms. This is a really good description. I feel like with the riding horses in general, like the gaits always feel super smooth. Whether you're trotting, cantering, you're galloping, the horse always really feels like it's riding very well. And you can see in these clips here with the horse transitioning from trotting to running, like everything feels super smooth. Again, these are great horses. Don't let the stats deter you at all. The dappling on this horse is super pretty. This is the natural mane and tail. Again, I love that black contrast with this horse here. So it isn't a super big horse. So if you're, again, a male character, somebody that likes the bigger horses, this horse is on the smaller side. It's bigger than a Morgan, but it isn't a super big horse. But again, give it a try. This is the Dapple Bay Tennessee Walker. Okay, the next category is the draft horse category, and there's one horse in this category that is classified as a bay, and that is the Dark Bay Shire. Now, the catalog description of a Shire says their immense size has made Shire horses a favorite throughout the ages. They are calm with an even temperament, a characteristic that is required for an animal pulling a cart full of valuable goods. They have a slightly Roman nose, well-muscled hindquarters, and a long neck that is set high. They're a great replacement for oxen on farms. With a sturdy and strong nature, they are the healthiest in our line. Now, the Shire is the biggest horse in the game. And again, their speed would suggest they're going to be very slow, and they do give the appearance of running slower because of their gait versus maybe a smaller horse that looks like they're running a lot faster, again, because of the gait. But honestly, like I mentioned, the horse speed isn't that big of a deal, and the Shire is a great horse. Like I said, it's the biggest horse in the game, so if you have a male character or you like to be on a really big, healthy horse that can go into battle, the Shire is going to be a really great option. Now, they do have heavy handling, and you're going to notice that when it comes to trying to make sharp turns or maybe navigating through a dense forest with a lot of trees, their handling is a little bit more sluggish than some other breeds, so you just want to keep that in mind. Now, as far as this Dark Bay goes, if you've never really looked at it before, the coat is so rich. Like, there is some beautiful black and red undertones that come through, especially in the sunlight. And so I didn't really notice it. I've had the Shire a couple times, but when I was really looking at this horse for this video, the pattern really just comes through, and it's absolutely gorgeous, especially with that solid black mane and tail as well. So again, this is the Dark Bay Shire. Our next bay horse comes from the racehorse category, and that is going to be the Blood Bay Thoroughbred. The catalog description says, known for their mastery of racing and jumping, their gait is powerful, exhibiting agility and speed. The withers are high, the back short, the body lean, and the chest deep. Thoroughbred horses are race horses and will carry out maximum exertion for long periods if the rider requests it. Our line of thoroughbreds is the finest of any catalog, auction horse, or equestrian concern. The thoroughbreds are really great horses, and I actually don't give them enough credit. In story, I really love using the reverse dapple thoroughbred because it's a unique horse that I can't play online. And I would say online that I'm drawn more toward the gray, but in making this video, the bay, like so many of the other bay horses as I was doing this video, just really does have a very rich coat, very pretty. So if you're looking for kind of that deep red, horse is going to definitely do that for you. For me, sometimes the white socks and the white blaze in the face can take away from the coat a little bit, especially with that rich color. So that's, I think, why I tend to just not go with this horse too often. But it really is very pretty. And again, even as the catalog description says, like, the gait is beautiful on a thoroughbred. So if you get into that trot, again, not every horse can do this. I've said it for a lot of the horses so far because we've done riding and just the categories that we've been in, but not every horse, and you'll see in some of the footage over this video, they can't get that real pretty trot. They can't go from they kind of get stuck in this weird trot and then a slow canter, and they can't get this nice extended gait. So I really like that horse, this horse for that specifically. But again, another really great horse to try, especially if you like the coat. So again, this is the Blood Bay Thoroughbred. The next two bay horses come from the war horse category, and first up is the Bay Roan Ardennes. The catalog description says, a cold-blooded breed, Ardennes have a fantastic temperament and are prized for their ability to not become agitated. The Ardennes have massive bone structure and large muscles. While not very agile, their strength in combat is highly sought after. They are healthy, sturdy, rustic, hard and tireless, a favorite in our line of war horses. So this horse is going to be very similar to a Shire. It's going to ride very similar. It's one of the bigger horses, one of the biggest horses in the game, or at least top 3, not quite as big as a Shire. So you're going to find there's going to be a little bit of that clunkiness when you're trying to maneuver around tight spaces, maybe through dense forests or through narrow trails. So that's just something to keep in mind. The Ardennes is a fantastic horse. You can see it here. This is kind of the base horse with the base mane and tail, and I do prefer to put a different mane and tail on it. The reason for that, for the Ardennes, I would say, is the coat is a little bit more muddied than you'll notice of some of the other coats in the game. It's not that real shiny, pretty color necessarily because it's a roan. You can see that it's going to be very similar to, say, the original Mustang. So they added those Mustangs in later. They have those real shiny coats, but if you look at the Tiger Stripe Mustang, it's got a kind of that dirty coat a little bit, and that's what the Ardennes has as well. I think the reason why I don't use the Ardennes too much is similar to the Thoroughbreds in that the coats just aren't my favorite in the game. There's a gray one in Story that is beautiful and I use them all the time, but in online you can only get the Bay Roan or the Strawberry Roan, and so they're just not my favorite. But I did recently find a good mane and tail and I'm loving it, and this is a really good horse. I would say I don't have too much variation in the little bit that I've used them in Bravery, so they tend to be pretty solid, pretty sturdy horses. So if you're someone that does like a bigger horse, check out this horse, check out this coat. It is a little bit different because of the roan in it and just what that does to the hair on the coat, but it is a really good breed to try. So again, this is the Bay Roan Ardennes. Next up is another horse from the war category, and that is the Dark Bay Andalusian. The catalog description says, prized in Spain for their use in bullfights, they are an agile, healthy, elegant, and intelligent breed. The Andalusian has a reputation as an incredible athlete, exhibiting a sixth sense around livestock, moving with amazing speed. They are strong yet compact, with long, thick tails and manes. Their intelligence can be astonishing at times, which is why they have been a favorite breed among nobility. Now, another description we can find is just that they're powerful, compact war horses, and they do say that these horses are courageous and will not spook easily, and that's for the game. Now, just keep in mind that bravery and temperament are just random, so that's not a guarantee if you get an Andalusian that they're going to be the bravest horse. Although I will say I did have a Dark Bay Andalusian, and it was definitely top 5 best horses I've ever owned. And I think the Andalusian is another breed that is just kind of overlooked a bit. I don't know why that is. Maybe because they're just kind of in the middle of, like, even if you're in the stables purchasing horses, there's not a large variety of coats. They're kind of a medium-sized horse. They're not one of the bigger horses if people like bigger horses, and they're not one of the smaller, more agile horses. But if you're watching these clips here, you can see the movement on this horse is absolutely gorgeous. The trot, the canter, it's beautiful movement, and I really didn't give this coat enough of a chance at first, because I'm not one, again, that loves the bays or the reds, the chestnuts. It's one that I hadn't tried too much, but I finally gave it a chance, and with a black mane and tail, the coat is such a deep red, and you've got that black around the face, the neck, the legs, with that contrasting black mane and tail. This is absolutely not the saddle I would use with this horse. I would use a dark colored saddle, probably a black saddle. And it really is just a phenomenally gorgeous horse with beautiful movement. You can just see it here in the clips. It's just like it floats. This horse has a lot of personality, and if you've never tried an Andalusian before, I would recommend checking this one out 100%. It's such a good horse, and again, it's just a coat that I didn't give enough credit when I first gave it a try. So this is the Dark Bay Andalusian. Okay, the rest of the horses are going to be from the multi-horse category, and first up are the Mustangs. Now there's two, and the first one we're going to do is the Wild Bay Mustang. The catalog description for Mustang says the wild, free-roaming horse of the plains. The Mustang is a classic of the Old West. They are healthy with high stamina, sure-footed, and suitable for war or work. With a low-set tail and round, dense hooves, they are very durable, and while difficult to break, are extremely loyal when forming a bond with a rider. And I think this is actually a great description of the Mustang, and I would say if you're going to be spending a lot of time in like rocky areas and hills, the Mustangs definitely are very sure-footed. I do find that if I'm going to be in New Austin a lot, that having a Mustang is an asset. And they are absolutely great horses. They're great starter horses. So if you're new to online, a Mustang is going to be a really good choice for you to start with. Now, the Wild Bay, Grillo Dun, and Tiger Stripe Bay are all rank locked for online, and they can be, they're not too pricey though. But they added 4 new coats into the game, and those you can actually get from day one, and they're not that expensive. So if you want to try the Wild Bay or some of the Bay horses later, you can definitely do that, but you could pick one of those other ones up early because the Mustangs are great horses. So the second one that I'm showing the clips here for is going to be the Tiger Striped Bay. Tiger Striped Bay is going to start with a little bit higher health and stamina and speed than the Wild Bay, but again, that doesn't make too much difference. So you don't have to worry about the stats too much. I think the Mustangs are beautiful horses. A lot of them have that dorsal stripe on their back, which is really pretty. The Wild Bay is very similar to like the Roan Ardennes, where it's got kind of that coat that's got a little bit of that the white hair in it, so it kind of looks a little muddied. And the Tiger Stripe Bay, again, is that same way, where it's kind of like that little bit of a dirty color, not that really smooth, shiny sheen that you're going to see in some of the other horses. But Mustangs absolutely on my recommended list for everybody. The only thing that I will say is that they are on the smaller side. So again, if you're a male character or you're someone who likes bigger horses, then the Mustang might be a little bit too small for you. But they're great horses. In story, I can use them with Arthur or John, so a bigger Arthur or a slimmer John, and it looks fine both ways, but it does look better with John. So if you're a male character and you have a really big male character, you might find that the horse looks a little bit too small for you. But absolutely 100% recommend Mustangs. They're great horses. For the bays here, we've got the Wild Bay we started with, and then the Tiger Striped Bay Mustang. Okay, and next up is the fan favorite, the Dark Bay Turkoman. My guess is if I asked people to choose from all the horses in this video as to which one is the best in the game, the majority would say the Dark Bay Turkoman. It's just wildly popular. People love this horse. They think it's the bravest, best horse in the game. And don't get me wrong, the Turkoman is a good horse. It's not my favorite horse, and I do have really bad luck with them when it comes to bravery, but it is a good horse, and we'll talk about why in just a second. The catalog description says the Turkoman is our top horse for racing or war. An Oriental horse breed, they are a bold horse known for their slender body and high endurance. The small hooves are suitable for traveling on hard and rocky ground. That, alongside their high speed, makes for a great battle horse. A hardy, healthy breed, unrivaled in this line, this is one of our most sought-after horses we sell. And I will say that's exactly right. This horse has very high stats, especially when fully bonded. It is very fast, even though I say the horse speed is all about the same. It has the appearance of being fast. It's healthy, so most people just want those high stats, and they think that, the Turkoman is one of the better looking horses, and it's not bad. For me, the Turkomans tend to be a little bit leggy, so when you see them running or moving, sometimes some of the colors just look a bit leggy, a bit gangly, kind of like a colt that hasn't quite worked itself into its body yet, hasn't kind of grown up into its adult body yet. So that's kind of the impression I get with a lot of them, particularly the grays kind of come out that way. The Dark Bay is beautiful. Again, again, when I was getting the footage, just the shiny coat, the beautiful trot, I didn't get the legginess at all in any of these clips here. So it really is. I actually have one on my secondary account that I absolutely love. It's one of the few horses, Turkomans, that I have that is not super skittish. So even though I have bad luck with them, it is a favorite, and a lot of people do really love this horse. So I can feel confident in suggesting it if you're looking for a new horse, because so many people love it. So again, the clips here are for the Dark Bay Turkoman. Okay, next up is the Mealy Dapple Bay Breton, and this is actually one of my favorite coats. The catalog description says the Breton is a powerful breed and an instant favorite among horse enthusiasts. They are a bulky, heavy-set breed capable of draft work, but they're also used as war horses due to their gait and disposition. Now, this horse is only available once you purchase the Bounty Hunter roll, and you do have to rank it all the way up to get to this particular coat variant, the Mealy Dapple. These are bigger horses, so they're very similar to draft horses in that they're very bulky, but they're short. So they're kind of short, small legs, and kind of a heavy set breed. They're well proportioned though. Some people think that they look a little bit bulky when they're running. I think they've got cute little butts, and I absolutely adore the Bretons. They're beautiful. This Mealy Dapple is definitely up there as one of my top favorite coats, for any of the breeds. And I think that this horse does really well in a variety of situations. And I think that it can definitely be a really good main horse for people. But it is not something that you can just purchase right off. So you're going to have the gold to purchase the Bounty Hunter roll, and you're going to have to rank that all the way up in order to get this one. I will say that this horse, again, because its legs are shorter, it's on the smaller side. I think because it's kind of a bulky horse that it's fine for male characters. But again, if you have a male character, it's just something that you want to keep in mind that it is on the shorter side. So if you like those really tall, big horses, or even if you're a female, have a female character that you like the really big horses, you might not quite get that with this horse breed. Also, because this is a bigger horse, it can be seemingly a little bit more, again, sluggish when it comes to those sharp turns or navigating those narrow areas or the dense forest, but I feel like it does fine. I use my Bretons all the time, and I absolutely adore them. So again, this is the Mealy Dapple Bay Breton. Okay, this has been a long one, but we are starting to wind down. We're at our last 3 horses, and the next 2 are in actually the same horse breed. So I'm going to talk overall about the breed as I showed the clips for the 2 different coats. And that is going to be the Criollo. Now, the first set of clips here are going to be the Bay Brindle Criollo, and then the second set of clips will be for the Bay Frame Overo. But I'm kind of just going to talk about the Criollo breed and how you can get it in online. This is another online exclusive horse. It is exclusive to the collector roll, meaning you have to have the gold to purchase the roll, and then you have to rank that roll up to 10 to get the Bay Brindle and 20 to get the Bay Frame Overo. The catalog description says this hardy breed hails from South America, where in 1540 a shipment of purebred Spanish Andalusian stallions were set free as the Spaniards abandoned Buenos Aires. The feral horse population that resulted was able to live in extreme heat and cold with little water or grass. They are an intelligent breed, averaging 14 to 15 hands high, and have high stamina, making them perfect for the traveler who is required to go long distances over rough terrain. They have sound, hard feet, a strong body, sloping shoulders, and a muscular neck. And I think that's one of the reasons why they chose this horse for the collector roll, because you're going to be riding across the map to get all those different collectibles. It is a very consistent, safe horse. It is on the smaller side, so maybe slightly bigger than the Arabian, but it is probably maybe around Mustang size as well. So it is a smaller horse. If you again are a male character or a female that likes bigger horses, you might find this one a bit on the small side. And I gotta say, overall, I was fairly disappointed with the coats for this breed. This is probably my least favorite set of coats for any of the horses. That's personal preference. You may absolutely love them. I know people that love the Bay Brindle, I almost never see it in online. It's not a popular. So if you're looking for a horse that nobody uses, probably that Bay Brindle is going to be one of them. But the Bay Frame Overo is fairly striking. I'm again not somebody who loves like the brown horses or again the chestnuts, the bays. Again, not always my favorite. So while it does have a very striking pattern, overall I would only own it if I had access to a lot of stalls, because even though it's a fairly good horse, I just find that there are other horses that beat it out in my opinion. But it's the horse that you can give a try. It's probably, again, one of the horses that isn't used as much. So if you're looking for something unique, you're looking for something that not a lot of people use, it could be something that you give a try. But again, these two horses are the Bay Brindle and the Bay Frame Overo Criollo. Okay, the final horse in this video is a splashed bay Gypsy Cob, and this is another exclusive horse to online. It is part of the naturalist roll, so again, this is another horse that you can't get unless you have the gold to purchase the roll and then rank that roll up. The Splash Bay is one of the available coats at rank 20, so you do have to rank it all the way up. The catalog description says that the Gypsy Cob is a hardy, strong, and intelligent horse breed, distinctive for their thick mane, tail, and heavy feathering on the legs. Standing 14 to 15 hands high, they are highly sought after for their temperament and intuition. Originally bred by the Romany Gypsy to pull caravans throughout England and Ireland, they are a luxurious breed, fearless and powerful with great stamina. I think that these horses do have some of the prettiest coats in the game. So all of the Cobs across the board have very unique, beautiful coats, and the Gypsy Cob or Vanner is actually one of my favorites, like in real life horse breeds. They're absolutely beautiful. I love the feathering. This coat, the Splashed Bay, is very striking. It's probably my least favorite, maybe not my least favorite of all the coats. I still love it. I still think it's beautiful. It's definitely not my top favorite of the Cob styles. And it is very unique, and I don't see it used very often either. So again, this is another horse, if you're looking for a unique coat that not too many people use. I don't see it that often, so I don't know how popular it is. And the Gypsy Cob is a fantastic horse. It is, again, very similar to the Breton in size, so they're smaller, kind of chonkier horses, cute little big butts. And I absolutely love them. I think they're beautiful. I think their gait is beautiful. I would say personally, like if I had more stalls, I would own one. With the limit of 10 stalls, I don't actually own one at the moment. On my main account, on my secondary account, I own the Palomino, which I think is very unique, and I definitely never see anybody using that one. But I think that they're overall just a very solid breed. So I think it's a good one to try out. I think the limiting factor here for a lot of people is people don't like the naturalist roll. They don't purchase it. They don't rank it up. And the naturalist roll is one of the harder ones to rank up as well. But again, this is another horse that, again, if you're looking for that very striking, not used like too much, I would go ahead and give this one a try. So again, this is the Splashed Bay Gypsy Cob. All right, guys, we have reached the end of a very long horse video. I almost split this into two, but I really like leaving when we're talking on a particular coat or pattern all in the same. But I really appreciate you guys sticking out. I know I tend to talk a little bit too much, but I hope that I was able to give you a bunch of clips so that you could see all the different horses. I'd love it if you'd let me know in the comment section below which one is your favorite of the bay horses. And also let me know, did Rockstar get it right? Are there any horses they list as bay that you're like, nope, that's definitely not bay? Or are there any horses that they don't list as bay that you're like, that is definitely a bay horse? So it's definitely, I'm not as familiar with horse genetics as I am with like maybe dachshund ones, so I'm not 100% sure if they got it right or not, and I'd love it if you'd let me know. And I'd appreciate it if you found this video helpful, informative, or just fun, that you'd leave it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.